Hi, I'm Pete McCall, the author of Smarter Workouts and the host of the All About Fitness podcast. Recently, I was asked about this exercise, which is the woodchopper, and there are a couple different ways to do this. So if you want to learn about this exercise and the benefits, follow along. First, you use all of your core muscles in this exercise. We load up from our hips and we really get our glutes active. Anytime we rotate from the hips, we're using the glutes. So the way to set up for this exercise, what I'm doing is the lift. I'm doing the low to high chop pattern right now. So I'm going from my hip to shoulder. And as you can see, I'm rotating from my feet. So we rotate from the feet and we rotate from the hips. That's the low to high pattern. The next pattern I'm going to set up is the high to low pattern. So the high to low pattern is the same thing, but all we're doing is we're going from shoulder to hip, shoulder to hip. Now, a couple key things about the spine. Number one, the two most mobile areas of the spine are the cervical spine and thoracic spine. So our neck and our upper back are designed to rotate. Our lumbar spine is not designed to rotate. So if you watch this exercise, watch the chop exercise carefully, my spine is relatively stable, relatively straight throughout the entire exercise, but the movement, any bending and rotating is coming from our hips. So I'm going to show you from a side. So this is the low to high pattern from the side. I'm sinking into the hips, keeping my spine straight, and I'm pushing here. You push with that away leg to really get that momentum to move the weight. Here's the front view. As you can see, when I do this exercise, you're extending and rotating this hip, and that's what gets the glutes involved. The oblique muscles, our external obliques are in front, our internal obliques are in back. Our oblique muscles help rotate the spine. Now here's the thing. The external oblique works with the opposite side internal oblique. The external oblique and the internal oblique work together, but on opposite sides of the body. That's what makes this exercise so effective for our entire midsection. So again, I'm going to show you the low to high, hinge and push. I'm moving from the hip. I'm driving from the hip while keeping my spine straight. The high to low pattern, just like it sounds like, we start with the shoulder and we sink into the hip. We sink back. So our weight, I'm going to give you a side view, our weight is going back into the hip. I'm not bending my spine is staying straight, but you're hinging into the hip. The mistake I see with this exercise so often is people flex at the spine. They bend the spine. Here's a little secret. If you want to injure your back, flex and rotate your spine at the same time. I'll say that again, because that's not a good thing. If you want to injure your back, try to flex and rotate the spine at the same time. It doesn't want to do that. We want to keep the spine straight, and the flexion comes from the hips. We sink into the hips. So whether we're coming from high to low, we sink into the hips. As you can see, I'm shoulder to hip, I'm pushing back. And you can see my hips rotating, my hips and my feet are rotating. That's low to high. Low to high is this, and then high to low is shoulder to hip. And as I bring it down across my body, as I bring the weight down across my body, I sink back. So I'm not bending my spine, I'm sinking back to get hip flexion. We want to keep the spine relatively straight. We want the rotation to come from our hips. We want the rotation to come from the feet. Any flexion, likewise, whether we're coming down high to low or we're starting low to high, any flexion comes from here at the hips, which really loads the glutes. Those are the key points about the wood chop exercise. We keep the feet active, keep the feet rotating, keep the hips rotating. That way the spine stays relatively straight. And if you do it right, not only will you feel the midsection, but you'll also really be feeling it here, right through your tailbone. There's the wood chop exercise. For more information, go to PeteMcCallFitness.com.